Falter-Podcasts werden durch Werbung unterstützt. Das hilft bei der Finanzierung unseres journalistischen Angebots. Falter Radio, der Podcast mit Raimund Löw.
Sehr herzlich willkommen, meine Damen und Herren, im Falter. Der afghanische Widerstand lebt, auch mehr ein Jahr nachdem die Taliban wieder in Kabul eingezogen sind. Fluchtartig hatten ja die USA und ihre Verbündeten damals die afghanische Hauptstadt verlassen. Es war eine schlimme Niederlage des Westens im sogenannten Krieg gegen den Terrorismus. Die neuen Herrscher Afghanistans drehen seither das Rad der Geschichte zurück. Frauen ist der Zugang zu den meisten Jobs verwehrt. Zahlreiche Mädchenschulen wurden geschlossen. Hilfsorganisationen sagen, dass sich in der Bevölkerung Unterernährung ausbreitet, weil die Unterstützung von außen ausbleibt. Die Taliban-Regierung ist international nicht anerkannt. Die USA halten Milliarden zurück, die der früheren pro-westlichen Regierung gehören. Zu den Gegnern des Regimes gehört Ahmad Massoud, der im Panjshir-Tal mit seinen Milizen versucht hat, die Machtübernahme der Taliban zu verhindern. Massoud ist Tadschike, wie die meisten Menschen im Panjshir-Tal. Die Taliban stützen sich auf die Stammesfürsten des Mehrheitsvolkes der Pashtunen. Der Vater des heute 33-jährigen Ahmad Massoud war ein legendärer Kämpfer, der von einem Kommando der islamistischen Organisation Al-Qaida ermordet wurde, unmittelbar vor den Anschlägen des 11. September. Massoud lebt heute im Exil. Ich habe ihn nach seiner Einschätzung der Lage gefragt. Er sieht verschiedene Formen des Widerstands gegen die Herrschaft der Taliban.
Right now as we are speaking, the resistance is happening against the Taliban, not just in Panjshir Valley, but different areas of Afghanistan, in different shape and form. The resistance not particularly means the armed resistance. Resistance in Afghanistan is happening in different shape and form by different sectors of the society for the very basic thing. And that is the right to live, the right to study, and the right to express your opinion without being afraid or being oppressed. And that is what's happening right now in Afghanistan after 1 year of the collapse of the government, withdrawal of the troops of the Americans and others. Unfortunately, Afghanistan fell in the hand of terrorism. This is as simple as that. At the beginning, there were a lot of advocates who were trying to sell the idea of the Taliban have changed. From the Taliban of 2001, who were harboring terrorism and Al-Qaeda, to Taliban 2.0, who are changed. But 1 year is a very lengthy period of time for a nation to realize and for the world to realize that they have not changed.
Bei den Waffenstillstandsverhandlungen mit den USA vor dem Abzug der Amerikaner hatten die Taliban versprochen, keine dschihadistischen Terroristen zuzulassen, wenn sie einmal in die Macht kommen. Aber ausgerechnet Al-Qaida-Chef Ayman al-Zawahiri, der Nachfolger von Osama bin Laden, wurde von den USA in Kabul ausgemacht und mit einer Drohne getötet. Ahmad Massoud sieht an der Präsenz von Al-Qaida-Chef al-Zawahiri in Kabul einen Beweis für die Verbindung der Taliban zu internationalen Terroristen.
We saw the evidence of Ayman al-Zawahiri, the leader of Al-Qaeda, being inside Kabul and the safety among the Taliban, and also the situation and the way their behavior toward the people, toward the women specifically and particularly in the other groups, which shows the total oppression and the total dictatorship.
Den Widerstand gegen die Taliban baut Ahmad Massoud aus dem Exil aus der benachbarten Republik Tadschikistan auf. Die Mehrheit der Kämpfer im Panjshir-Tal sind ebenfalls Tadschiken. Sie haben sich in die Berge des Hindukusch zurückgezogen. Dass ein ethnischer Konflikt mit dem Mehrheitsvolk der häufig talibanfreundlichen Pashtunen hinter der Auseinandersetzung steht, bestreitet Massoud.
It is not about Tajik and Pashtun only, but the issue in Afghanistan is the issue of justice, freedom. The issue is that the current administration of the Taliban are accountable to no one and answering to no one, and their legitimacy is through the barrel of gun. Not through dialogue, talk, constitution, or a legitimate process acceptable by the people of Afghanistan and acceptable by the international community. So therefore, Although that, yes, the majority of the government of the Taliban are Pashtun, but I strongly believe that the majority of Pashtun are not Taliban.
Ich frage nach den Frauendemonstrationen, die es nach vielen Berichten in den letzten Monaten gegeben hat. Waren diese Proteste auch im Panjshir-Tal möglich? Ahmad Massoud sagt natürlich, Frauen im Panjshir-Tal protestieren.
Of course. One of the demonstration, one of the women who actually raised their voice in Panjshir Valley, that my friends they can share their the documentation and also the videos and the evidence of that. Which one thing is that, for example, in Panjshir Valley, in different areas as well, that we have different type of resistance. The protest happens at the same time because of the offensive and invasion of the Taliban. There are our forces and our resistant fighters who are retreated to the mountains just like the time of the Soviets, and they're defending their life, their children, their house and their families. And also we have the political resistance that we are unifying and uniting all the politician elites and the people and the constituencies and communities inside and outside Afghanistan for political and social resistance against the Taliban, and also the protest which is happening across Afghanistan. Paktia, the girls in Paktia, they demonstrated. The girls in Herat, they demonstrated, which was being attacked when they have been actually shot. The girls in Kabul, as we were speaking, they're protesting by writing graffitis on the wall, by stitching the picture of the late Commander Massoud as the symbol of the resistance and fighting against tyranny and against extremism, and in any shape and form that the people can dare express it. However, one thing we need to understand, that the Taliban are using brutal force against every person, every resistance, everyone who is exposing their true identity and reality. And that is why one thing that right now, as we are speaking, things are not escalating, because the Taliban are using the element of fear. They kill without asking questions. They kill as soon as they see someone unhappy about their government. They put the jail. They prosecute. So right now, as we are speaking, Afghanistan have been sent back to dark ages by the Taliban, and the Taliban are behaving in a way, and they're treating people in a way that no one can say anything, and they will be treated in the most violent way possible.
Ausländische Reporter, die das Land ein Jahr nach dem Umsturz besucht haben, haben immer wieder zu hören bekommen, zumindest die alltägliche Sicherheit habe zugenommen, weil der Bürgerkrieg vorbei ist. Allerdings kommt es nach wie vor zu blutigen Terroranschlägen, vor allem gegen schiitische Moscheen und andere Einrichtungen der schiitischen Minderheit, die von der afghanischen Organisation des sogenannten Islamischen Staates durchgeführt werden. Ahmad Massoud sagt, häufig sind interne Rivalitäten unter den Taliban der Grund für Abspaltungen, die dann als IS oder ISIS verfolgt werden. Im Panjshir-Tal ist eine solche Gruppe unter dem Namen Tahar aktiv.
Whoever is departing from themselves and detaching from the Taliban, they label it as ISIS and they eliminate it. For example, the Tahar one, particularly the Tahar group. There was an event that happened in Tahar about a few months ago. This is the one that you mentioned. Yes. That happened between the Uzbek commanders of Tahar, who were Talib, who were a part of the Taliban till a couple of months ago. They were a part of the Taliban group, and then the Taliban brought injustice, distribution of power in Tahar. They didn't give them anything. So they were very unhappy about it. They said, we are not going to be with Taliban anymore. As soon as they announced it, the Taliban labeled them as ISIS and killed. I do not say that the ISIS is not present in Afghanistan. No. On the other hand, they are recruiting and they are becoming more and more powerful. However, in many occasions, the Taliban and their internal issue is the event that happened. In many of the bombings, it is their own internal game that they are doing one against another, but they are labeling it and blaming it on ISIS. So this is one thing which is happening. The ISIS is a terrorist group, is very active, is responsible for a lot of attacks. I do not denounce that at all. But I say that the Taliban are also playing with the card of ISIS, to silence or to kill their own rivals.
Von den Taliban verlangt die Widerstandsfront, die Massoud anführt, ein Ende des totalitären Kurses. Vor einem Monat hatte er ein Gespräch mit dem Außenminister der Taliban. Massoud verlangte die Bildung einer Loya Jirga, einer großen Ratsversammlung, an der alle afghanischen Parteien und Strömungen beteiligt sein sollen. Aber mehr als eine Aufforderung zur Kapitulation hat es von Seiten der Machthaber nicht gegeben. Der bewaffnete Kampf in den Bergen gegen die Taliban, der jetzt beginnt, ist nur die letzte Option, so Ahmad Massoud. Er verlangt nach wie vor die Bildung einer legitimen Regierung in Kabul, an der alle Strömungen des Landes beteiligt sein sollen.
What we are trying to do is first, all the group who are not happy and opposing the current situation in Afghanistan, to all of us to unify. Then at the same time it can be proposed to the Taliban. First, Bonn Conference. Then the constitutional Loya, then transitional government, then government. See, this is a procedure acceptable by the people and the world. Such procedure is needed for another phase or another era for Afghanistan or a new era for Afghanistan, that the Taliban can be a part of it. If they do not accept it, let's say they say, no, we are not going to accept it. It means that they want to continue ruling through the barrel of gun, and this is something the world should not allow and should stand with the people of Afghanistan.
Massoud war Teil des vom Westen unterstützten Machtkartells, das den Krieg im Sommer 2021 verloren hat. Heute verlangt er militärische Unterstützung aus dem Westen für seinen Kampf. Wenn der bewaffnete Widerstand der Ukraine berechtigt ist, dann ist unser Kampf in Afghanistan 10-mal mehr gerechtfertigt.
If the cause of Ukraine is justifiable, if their armed resistance is justifiable, and well, our cause is justifiable 10 times more. And our armed resistance needs support 10 times more. So, of course, we welcome any support. However, one thing I need to emphasize, Afghanistan does not have a military solution. Afghanistan needs a political solution, and we are moving toward that direction. Our armed resistance is only our last choice to defend our people and our children, our families, and our area and our values. That's all. But we are not going to give up in the face of terrorism, in the face of extremism, in the face of oppression. Exactly like my father, that my father said, Afghanistan does not have a military solution, Afghanistan have a political solution. I believe in the same thing.
Eine Vereinigung der verstreuten Oppositionsgruppen im Exil und im Land selbst, um dann den Taliban eine neue Machtaufteilung vorzuschlagen und internationale Anerkennung zu bekommen, das ist die Strategie der Opposition. Man steht im Anfang, sagt Oppositionsführer Ahmad Massoud. Zuallererst geht es darum, eine Widerstandsfront aufzubauen, an der alle oppositionellen Strömungen beteiligt sind.
A legitimate procedure so everyone can come together and we create a government which is legitimate and acceptable by all. But the Taliban completely rejected all of that, and they said we are accepting one thing, and that is surrender. That is all. So we had no choice, and still we did not attack anywhere. We were in our homes. They attacked my family. They attacked our livelihood. They attacked our children. They attacked our women. So we had no choice but to defend. We tried to avoid violence and war till very last moment, and we never started any war. It was them attacking us, and we had to just defend. If we would not, the catastrophe would be much, much higher. That the Taliban, as we are speaking, they killed hundreds and they killed thousands without any question or anything in many other areas and provinces.
Ahmad Massoud hat sich Mitte September in Wien mit 25 afghanischen Oppositionellen getroffen, um sein Ziel, die Bildung einer nationalen Widerstandsfront, auf den Weg zu bringen. Ich verabschiede mich von allen, die uns auf UKW hören, im Freirad Tirol und auf Radio Agora in Kärnten. Internationale Berichte und Reportagen lesen Sie im Falter jede Woche. Ein Abonnement des Falter ist daher eine gute Idee. Ursula Winterauer hat die Signation gestaltet, Philipp Dietrich betreut die Audiotechnik im Falter. Ich verabschiede mich bis zur nächsten Folge.